Welcome to Health, Wellbeing and Lifestyle, where experts in the field inform, educate and inspire the community to be healthier, more balanced and live the lifestyle they love. Our first guest today, Michèle Wolff, is a naturopath, author and lecturer, and the topic we'll be discussing is constipation and other digestive health issues. Welcome, Michèle.
Thank you, Megan.
So, Michèle, constipation is a very common problem. Could you describe the cause of constipation?
Yeah, sure. There are several causes which are lifestyle causes because of the modern day lifestyle. The number one cause is a lack of water. So if you are somebody that has a very active lifestyle and you perspire a lot or you go in saunas, you're going to need more water than someone else. But the amount of water you need is also based on your body weight. It's also based on how much salt you have in your diet as well. But on average, if you times your body weight in kilograms by 33, you'll get the amount of mils of water that you should have. And best to have that water warm rather than cold. It hydrates better. So that would be the number one. The second would be lack of fibre in the diet. So a lot of us have junk food, more white products in the diet, more refined food, white rice rather than brown rice, and so on. So increasing your fibre through whole foods, so that would be more green leafy vegetables, whole grains like brown rice, quinoa, buckwheat. If you're someone that tolerates wheat, brown bread rather than white bread. And if there's still constipation, you can have fibres that are even more effective than that. So for example, 1 tablespoon of chia seeds a day and or a teaspoon of ground flax seeds or LSA a day. And the highest fibre out of any fruit is actually figs. And figs also contain a lot of calcium. So 1 to 2 figs a day can correct the problem. A breakfast that I would commonly prescribe is oat bran, which is very fibrous, mixed with hot water with some figs and some chia seeds and some LSA, and that's a really, really good fibre to get the bowel moving. If it's not resolved by that, then look at exercise. So we've become very sedentary in our lifestyle compared to how much we're supposed to move, and the body needs to move in order for the bowel to move. If you haven't got a certain period of time for normal exercise, then you can invest in like a small trampoline or a lymphosizer, it's often called. Bounce up and down while you're watching television. That's really good exercise for the gut. And the other thing I would say is that we're actually not designed to sit on the toilets in the position that we sit in. So in countries like Asia and in France, a lot of the toilets are holes in the ground, and the bottom part of your bowel opens right up when you're squatting. So there are several companies that have squatting stools that go around toilets that can make a considerable difference to constipation and easy passage from the bowel. After that, the next most important thing would be probiotics. So probiotics are often known as bifidus and lactobacillus as the main ones, but there are over 700 recorded species now. And they come from foods like plain yogurt. There's a Balkan drink called kefir, which has huge amounts of probiotics. That's readily available in health food shops, or you can make it yourself. And having foods like sauerkraut, so fermented cabbage as an example, small amounts with the meals. If you've addressed all of those and there's still constipation, then have a look at your stress levels. So that can have a big impact on the bowel with the mind-gut connection. So if you're holding on to emotions, often the bowel can hold on and you can be constipated. If you've got a lot of worry that's going over a period of time, that can often hold on the bowel. So there are specific lifestyle techniques that you can do to release that stress. If it's more complicated, you might want to see a professional counsellor or psychotherapist to help release that. And I would use specific herbs for the gut-brain connection and to relax the gut and calm the mind. So stress has quite a big impact, and quite a big impact. There can be more serious illnesses like hypothyroid that can cause.
What problems does constipation cause to the body?
So it can cause a lot of very uncomfortable symptoms. Bloating is a big one, which can be really uncomfortable for people. Sometimes it causes excessive gas. It causes a sluggishness, particularly in the brain, from the endotoxins going around in the body and the body just not being cleared, and the pressure on the body. If you're very constipated, it also causes a lot of pressure on the heart, and it can make you feel quite unhappy and quite down if it goes on, both from the uncomfortable feeling and the toxins not being passed. So you've got an unhealthy fermentation that goes on in the gut. So, you know, every 24 to 48 hours, the food should be moving out of the gut. It's like a rubbish bin that needs to be moved out, not causing recirculating toxins and mind problems. It can also cause problems with sleep. So some people wake up in the night because their gut is uncomfortable. With some people, it can cause swollen glands because the fluids are just not moving through the body. And you'd be more prone to, like if you're somebody that suffers with eczema, for example, it will be worse when you're constipated because, because the toxins are not free flowing out of the body.
Do you have any tips for our viewers for some healthy eating?
Yeah, so there's lots of tips for healthy eating as far as constipation goes. So having enough fibre is very important. So always have your whole grains, so brown rice instead of white rice. Every grain you have a whole grain. Green leafy vegetables. Your 1 tablespoon of chia seeds a day can be amazing. A teaspoon of ground flax seeds a day. 1 to 2 figs a day. All these things move the bowel. And then have something in the diet that's got some culture in it that helps those good probiotics and those good prebiotics. So plain yogurt or kefir, which is actually a Balkan drink that has many times more good flora and fauna than plain yogurt. That's readily available from a health food shop, and it's spelt Kefir. And avoiding white foods and avoiding junk foods, avoiding fizzy drinks and drinks with colourings in, that all will help the gut and will help constipation.
Fantastic information, Michèle. If you'd like to know more about constipation and other digestive issues and Michèle Wolff, please go to her webpage on our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au. And after the break, we have another interesting guest with another interesting topic.
Stay tuned. After the break, Lifestyle GP Dr. Avi Charlton will be talking about natural ways to control and reverse diabetes. Welcome back. Our second guest is Lifestyle GP Dr. Avi Charlton, and we will be talking about natural ways to control and reverse diabetes. Welcome back, Dr. Avi. It's so good to see you again.
Thanks for having me, Stephanie.
Could you tell us what is diabetes and what is the effects of diabetes on our body and mind?
For the purpose of this, we're just going to talk about type 2 diabetes. But to understand type 2 diabetes, there's a stage before we become type 2 diabetic. We call it insulin resistance. So there's a lot of people that are insulin resistant. Actually, a big population of people, up to 80% of the population, can be insulin resistant. These people can have signs that we can see that can show us that there's signs of insulin resistance, especially those people who have increased belly fat. They might have skin tags, or they might be tired, or going to toilet a lot to wee. They might have dark patches under the underarm. So these are the signs of insulin resistance. What happens is the body makes insulin, which is a hormone, to try and put the glucose away. So every time we eat glucose or carbohydrates which become glucose, the glucose, or we can also understand as sugar, actually goes into our bloodstream. Our body makes the insulin to put it away. If your body is managing with making more and more insulin, then you're not quite a diabetic yet. But if your body makes more and more insulin to put more and more glucose away, your body may not respond to all the insulin, and that is called insulin resistance. So what happens is if you work your insulin too hard, you get insulin resistant, and the next stage is you become a type 2 diabetic. Being a type 2 diabetic can have lots of consequences. It affects your whole body. There's too much glucose in your bloodstream, and it causes a lot of damages to everywhere in your body. Increases your risk of heart attacks, strokes, and even small arteries, like it can cause you to be blind, it can affect your kidneys and cause kidney damage, and even affect the small nerves and small blood vessels in your feet. Some diabetics have to have their toes or feet amputated and chopped off, and it's actually terrible to have diabetes.
So is there a natural way for people to control and reverse diabetes?
Yeah, absolutely. So we can understand diabetes as a lifestyle condition. There are genetic causes as well. What we can do is we can modify our nutrition and eat much less carbohydrates and glucose and sugar. And don't forget there's lots of sugar that's hidden in our processed foods and in all the packaged foods. So what we do is we eat more real foods, meat, eggs, chicken, fish, pork, lamb, protein, and we eat lots more above ground veggies like broccoli, cauliflower, asparagus, tomato, mushrooms, all the good real food, and really staying away from starchy vegetables, potato, pasta, potatoes, sweet potatoes, and those vegetables. Concentrate on eating good nutrition, real foods, and we can also think about exercise. Going for walks is great, but lifting weights, building muscles, strength training, that will really help to improve our metabolic health and reduce diabetes. And also getting sunlight, getting outside into the sun, that can help to improve our metabolic health. And optimizing our sleep, making sure we sleep enough, and that will improve our metabolic health. We can bring down the glucose, regulate our circadian rhythm. Doing all these things can help you improve diabetes, reverse diabetes, and reduce insulin resistance. But we have to remember that if you are diabetic, especially those who are on medications, you need to speak to a professional who are equipped to talk about nutrition. So with regards to nutrition for diabetics, if we can reduce our carbohydrates as much as we can, reducing to a low-carb diet, less than 50 grams of carbs a day, or even a ketogenic diet with much less carbohydrates, less than 20 grams a day, that will really help to control your diabetes or even reverse diabetes. Your body can heal and your body can improve naturally with improving our insulin resistance.
What advice do you have for both of our viewers, those who have diabetes already and those who want to prevent it?
Especially for those who have diabetes already, it's important to get professional guidance, especially those who are on diabetes medications or blood pressure tablets. They need to see a health professional who are equipped to talk about this. But everyone, especially those with diabetes or insulin resistance, pre-diabetes, the advice is if they can improve on their lifestyle, they can control the diabetes or even reverse diabetes. What I mean by improve their lifestyle is they can work on their diet, reducing the carbohydrates to as low as they can, reducing sugar, bread, potato, pasta, in eating more meat, eggs, chicken, fish, and above ground veggies. Then eating that way, they can improve their blood sugar level and control the diabetes or even reverse diabetes. They can also work on exercise. So going for walks is great, and building muscle strength training, lifting weights, that will help them improve their blood glucose level. They should optimize their sleep, making sure they sleep enough hours in the night. They can work on getting outside, exposing into sunlight, working with their circadian rhythm. Doing all that can improve their blood glucose level and control their diabetes, or even prevent them from having diabetes. In that way, we can reduce your risk of chronic conditions that are associated with diabetes.
You've given us a lot to think about. Thank you so much, Dr. Avi.
Thank you, Stephanie.
If you would like to know more about natural ways to control and reverse diabetes and Dr. Avi Charlton, please visit her webpage on our website healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au. And after the break, we will be back with another interesting guest and another interesting topic.
Stay tuned. After the break, Naturopath lecturer and author Michèle Wolff will be talking about the importance of the nervous system to the digestive system's health. Welcome back. Our next guest, Sue Williams, is a doctor of quantum counselling and a clinical hypnotherapist. And the topic we'll be discussing is healing energies across animals and humans. Welcome, Sue.
Thanks, Megan. It's great to be here.
Sue, could you tell us a little bit more about healing energies?
Yes, this is something that I've become very interested in, and it's been a bit of a logical progression from the other modalities that I've already studied. And it's definitely cross-species because we're all energetic beings, we're all composed of energy, and quantum physics, which I go back to quite often with a lot of my modalities, means that we are all connected energetically. So it's like the air we breathe, we can't see it, but these energy fields are there. And the ones that people are probably most common with are the EMFs, so your electromagnetic fields, which we're supposed to try and avoid, the microwaves in our microwave ovens, radio waves. I mean, we've got our phones are sending out waves, energy waves all the time, so we're surrounded by energy without us even realising. But the great thing about that is that we can incorporate that into healing. We can use different techniques to find out what is wrong with our energy fields, whether they're unbalanced, whether they need support, and then we can use many different ways to support them and get them back into alignment. And if we go back centuries, we look at traditional Chinese medicine, that is based on the meridians, which are the energy lines through our bodies where the qi flows. And of course, they've used acupuncture and acupressure for millennia to be able to heal and correct different problems with humans and animals. And I know even in the racing industry, acupuncture is used a lot with racehorses. And whether you believe it or not, a horse doesn't know any better. And if it makes them improve and improves their health, well.
So can we actually use similar healing energies on animals and humans?
Absolutely. As I said, we're all energetic beings. So the same rules apply to the animals as they do to the humans. And there's an incredible new technology, bioenergetics, that actually uses modern technology to scan the body field of humans. And at this stage, we're horses, dogs and cats, because there is specific software for those three species. But it can be expanded to animals that are a similar shape to a horse, say a cow or something similar. It's got the four legs and a big body. So we can use it with different animals. But that scans the body field of whatever the being is, and finds where it's disrupted, where it needs support, and you view it on your computer. So these traditional ways with the Reiki and acupuncture and similar modalities now is definitely in the 21st century, with it all being able to be viewed on your computer. So it's definitely a great alternative for people who are having physical problems, nagging injuries, it's very good for. And again, if you've got emotions that you need a bit of help with, it'll be something to do with your energy field, and these technologies and these modalities can definitely help. And this bioenergetics field, this new technology is just amazing. And the great thing for us is that it was actually developed by an Australian, I think more than 30 years ago now. His name is Peter Fraser. He's no longer with us, unfortunately, but his work is being carried on with other specialists and one particular man who trained with Peter. So it's an ongoing project that they're developing more and more with this technology. But it's really great that it started here in Australia. So many good things have started here in Australia. So we've got a lot to thank Peter Fraser for this particular modality.
That's so interesting, Sue. Do you have any advice for our viewers on their own energy healing journey?
Yes, definitely, because these days we have so many professionals who specialise in these different modalities who can help us. So reach out. If you want to go the traditional route first, acupuncture is just available everywhere. Allopathic doctors very often offer acupuncture as well because they have realised the benefits. Reiki, again, is very widespread. It's getting to be very well known. So definitely look up a professional, because sometimes it's more difficult for us to change our energetic field ourselves. We do need that external help. But yep, turn to the professional and start with ones that you're aware of, like the acupuncture and acupressure. And then if you want to find out more, then move on. Educate yourself, and then it's certainly not going to hurt, and it will help your pets and animals as well.
Thanks, Sue. That's such valuable and interesting information. If you'd like to know more about Sue Williams and the benefits of energy healing for humans and animals, please go to her webpage on our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au. And we're going to say bye-bye for today and see you next time. If you'd like to know more about our show, please like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.